Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Mila and this is mylatriesit, where I try a bunch of different perfumes ranging from niche to Middle Eastern to designer. And today I have quite a few new perfumes here to review. I'm actually going to show them real quick. For the Middle Eastern ones, I have their Rabiat Sugar Matcha Latte. I have Rabiat Prestige Kohl Luminous. Then technically, I think this is niche instead of designer. And I have Clean Reserve, the H2O collection, the Golden Citrus, and the Clean Reserve Citron Fig, along with the Clean Classic. So this isn't the Reserve, it's the Clean Classic Skin and Vanilla. Two of the Selena Gomez rare perfumes. I have the Fine Comfort and then like the classic perfume that she released, along with Commodity Editions Milk Orchid and the Fenty perfume. I've had this Commodity Milk Orchid for such a while now, and I don't know why I didn't review it sooner, but my opinion on this is probably not what you're expecting, so I'll get to that one as well. So I'm going to start off with a Rabiat Sugar Matcha Latte EDP. I kind of like this in the back. It looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like luxurious. Try that. And like always, I'm going to have the notes and everything up for you guys to see. Top notes are coconut, peach, and lily of the valley. Middle notes are caramel, milk, rice, orange blossom, and base notes are tonka, bean, sandalwood, and musk. The first time I smelled this, I was pleasantly surprised. I expected not to really like this, and I was kind of thrown off by like the matcha name to it because there's no matcha in here at all, or at least it's not listed in the notes. But I was pleasantly surprised with this, even though the bottle was kind of misleading. This is a very fruity gourmand, if that makes sense. It's sweet but floral. I'm picking up most of the notes that I listed, especially the coconut and the caramel. The peach is kind of hidden in there. You can pick it up once you smell it, but it's really, really creamy from that milk. The milk really smooths it out and makes it really well blended, but it doesn't smell overly lactonic. If you don't like very sweet fragrances, you might not like this though, because it does lean pretty sweet. It's a very fruity sweet with those rich gourmand notes. Probably give this one probably like a 7 out of 10. All right, moving on to a Rabiat. This one's actually a Rabiat Prestige. So we're moving on to a Rabiat Prestige Kohl Luminous. And can we just like talk about how beautiful this bottle is? Honestly, it's one of the things that kind of gravitated me towards this fragrance. It's just so beautiful, and especially like displaying it, it's just so nice to look at. But let's see what the fragrance smells like. So this has top notes of lemon, mango, ginger, and rhubarb, middle notes of violet, jasmine, praline, pink pepper, and base notes of ambergris, moss, cedarwood, and tonka bean. That lemon is very present. It's a very citrusy, fresh, and if you know me, I have kind of a hard time with citrus fragrances. It takes a lot for me to like one, but this one's super refreshing. I don't think I'd like this at all during winter. I haven't worn it during winter. I'm saving this for like spring and summer, but I think those richer notes in here just grounds it in a way where it's not linear. It's not just a citrus fragrance. It's like citrus with depth. That moss is honestly what I'm picking up, and it's definitely a unique mixture with those more gourmand leaning notes and those floral notes, like mixed with the jasmine and the praline and the tonka bean, the moss, and like it just brings something different to citrus fragrances. I'd rate this one. This is the second time I've smelled it, and I like it so much more than I did the first time I smelled it. I think I'd give this like an 8.5 out of 10. Moving on to Clean Reserve Citron Fig. This isn't the H2O line, it's the EDP. This is more of a traditional citrus fragrance. It has top notes of fig, ginger, and lemon oil, middle notes of cardamom, mandarin, mint, and copaiba, base notes of sandalwood, cedar, wood, and musk. This is very unisex, probably leaning slightly more masculine in my opinion. It's very fresh. It almost has like an aftershave smell, but a woman could easily rock this, especially during those like warmer months. It's very refreshing. That mint is a very, very fun note in here. I think it really brings like a uniqueness to it, because I feel like mint isn't a note that is typically in fragrances. It's hard to find a mint note. But yeah, it smells nice. I'd probably give this like a 6.5 to 7 range out of 10, mostly because this isn't like the scent profile I gravitate towards. Between this one and the Kohl Luminous, I'm leaning more towards the Kohl Luminous. Okay, so moving on to Clean Reserve, the H2O collection, which is really cool because this is a water-based formula. It is the Golden Citrus scent, and it's cool because the bottles are even a different color to distinguish between being the EDP alcohol base and the water base. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm going to apply this one onto skin, mostly because water-based formulas aren't the best on tester strips. So I'm just going to, so this one has top notes of mandarin, water notes, bergamot, Middle notes of neroli, orange blossom, and base notes of musk. I don't know what the water note is because I don't feel like water necessarily smells like anything, but this is a floral citrus. That neroli is really prominent in here. You have to like neroli to like this fragrance. I personally love neroli, so this is a fragrance that really speaks out to me. It is just so well blended in my opinion. That musk really kind of grounds it. The neroli is just so fresh without it being, in my opinion, overpowering. And then that mandarin orange brings more of like a sweet citrus instead of just of having the bergamot in there. I love an orange citrus versus a lemon citrus. So overall, I am pretty impressed by this one. I'd probably give this one probably like an 8 out of 10. So moving on to Clean Classic Skin and Vanilla. I'm pretty sure the Clean Classic is supposed to be more of like a straightforward fragrance. It is like a $75 MSRP in comparison to most of the Clean Reserves that are $110. This one is more of a straightforward fragrance. So on the box it has the notes. It is just 3 notes. It's creamy vanilla, red apple, and musk. It's straightforward but just so nice. It's like, it's hard to describe this without using the word clean. It's not so much a laundry clean. I just got out of the shower. You used a luxurious body wash, maybe with a little bit of vanilla, but it still smells a little musky and like skin, if that makes sense. Like a clean musk with vanilla. How about that? This is very much so one that I think a lot of people would like. I think it definitely leans more feminine, but I see so many people liking this one. It's not a very complex fragrance by any means. It's one that's just easy to like, easy to wear, pretty much every season. And I think I forgot to mention, but the Clean Reserve Golden Citrus, I think it's unisex leaning feminine. All right, moving on, we have the Fenty. And this one took me by surprise. The first time I smelled it at Sephora, I was a little confused and overwhelmed. I didn't know if I liked it. I didn't know if I hated it. It was just one that is surprisingly a little complex, but I think it's one that you either really love or really hate. Definitely more feminine leaning, and it has top notes of blueberry, tangerine, middle notes of Bulgarian rose, geranium, magnolia, and base notes of patchouli and musk. Now, the key notes that I'm picking up on are patchouli, blueberry and tangerine, and definitely the Bulgarian rose. It's so hard to describe this. It's almost like earthy from that patchouli, really sweet and spicy at the same time. Now that the top notes are kind of drying down, I definitely pick up on that magnolia. At first, it was kind of overpowered by the rose, but the magnolia and geranium are coming through a little bit. And I think it's a disservice to just smell this fragrance on a tester strip instead of trying it on skin, because I got a completely different experience when I tried it on skin. It's one I'm really growing to love, and this leans towards like niche worthy for me in terms of how unique it is. Can't think of another celebrity fragrance or another designer fragrance that has this level of uniqueness. So good job, Brianna, on that one. I really like it. Okay, so moving on, we have the Rare Beauty Find Comfort, not to be confused with the Rare Beauty Rare perfume. I learned that the hard way because I bought this thinking it was the Rare perfume. But I think I did this fragrance a disservice because when I smelled it, I was immediately upset and kind of thrown off by it. It didn't smell like the gourmand sweet fragrance I had smelled at Sephora, since I didn't know it was a different one. But so this one has notes of sparkling lemon zest, jasmine petals, and comforting cashmere woods. I definitely pick up on the lemon zest for sure. That's like incredibly prominent in here. This is unfortunately not my vibe. It's a little too citrusy. As it's drying down, it is getting better. I did wear this one time and it was okay, but there are just so many other fragrances that I probably would like to wear a little bit more. That being said, it is a pleasant scent, not my favorite, but I'd probably give this like a 6 out of 10. All right, now moving on to the Rare Beauty Rare perfume. This has top notes of caramel, pink pepper, pistachio, middle notes of vanilla, Nigerian ginger, and cocoa, base notes of sandalwood, musk, and tonka bean. I absolutely love this. Like, I love this fragrance. I almost like showered in this fragrance when I first put it on. It is so well blended, and what I really like about this fragrance is caramel isn't like immediately the first note that I think of. It's a note that makes this fragrance sweet without being overpowering. I think whoever was involved in this fragrance did an amazing job. And again, I know it's like a celebrity fragrance. It just smells so incredibly good to me. Like, I wouldn't even compare this to a designer fragrance. I would compare this to like a niche fragrance. And that's so surprising to me that these two celebrity fragrances are probably the most unique out of all of these. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm probably going to give this between a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. For it to be a 10 out of 10, I think I have to think like Amouage Guidance. Like that's my all-time favorite fragrance. It's definitely worth getting your nose on, especially if you like the notes that I described. It's creamy, it's rich, it's spicy, it's almost fresh with that ginger note. It's just such a well-rounded fragrance. All right, last but not least, we have Commodity by Milk Orchid. And this was a collaboration between Emma, her channel's Perfumerism, and Commodity. And I've been putting off reviewing this fragrance because the first time I smelled it, I just did not really think it was that exciting. It has top notes of coconut, fig milk, almond blossom, middle notes of magnolia and vanilla orchid, and base notes of milk, sandalwood, and macadamia. Okay, so the first time I smelled this, it almost came off as a pineapple smoothie. That's the first thing that the combination of those notes reminded me of for some reason, with a little bit of coconut. And objectively, this smells really, really nice. I'm not gonna say it doesn't smell nice, it does. I think a lot of people like it. It was really well received, but based on the notes that I'm reading, I expected something completely different in my head. I think I was a little upset because it smelled pretty straightforward and linear, and it could just be the combination of those notes. Like all my nose is picking up is pineapple. That can be why, because clearly it has quite a few notes listed on here. So unfortunately, this isn't my favorite. I'm gonna try it on skin and give it like a proper wear test and update you guys, and I feel bad because it smells good and I love perfumerism, but something to me is just kind of missing. So I think because of that, I think I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Let me know if you were surprised by any of these reviews or if you've tried any of these, and let me know what your fragrance of the day is. Mine today was actually the Clean Skin and Vanilla. So that's what inspired me to make this video, is because I sprayed it on today and I was like, oh, I should do a video on the newer fragrances that I've accumulated recently. And just as a preview, I went to Brazil and I got this fragrance, and I'm gonna be going more into depth on this one in my next video. It is by Boticário. It's a very well-known body care store in Brazil, kind of like Bath & Body Works in the US, but I'd say it's probably a little bit more luxury. This one's called Florata Red. So if you guys are interested, then keep an eye out for that video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.